What is up, dudes? Today we are going to be demonstrating for you the core moves that we gave to you in the paperwork that we sent out. So there's going to be 3 different categories. It's going to be, the first category is working on your abdominals. The second one is your obliques, and your third is your posterior chain. So Stove here is going to demonstrate while I walk you through all of the moves. So we're going to start with the abdominal moves. First up is a plank walk. So you're just going to get into plank position, and you're literally just going to walk back and forth. So the key for this one is to imagine that there's a cup of water balancing on your back, and you don't want your hips to shake all over the place. You want your core to stay tight. So you don't want to spill that cup of water that's resting on your back. So think of that every time you're doing the plank walk. Next up is suitcases. Yep. So you're just opening and closing your body basically as if you were a suitcase. So when you lean back and then pull forward, it's going to be kind of hard to balance at first. So if you need to rest your hands on the floor to get started, go ahead and start that way. But as you get better, lift your hands up and challenge your balance even more. Next up is bananas. So just make sure that you are lifting your shoulder blades off of the ground and you're not pulling your neck up towards your feet. You're trying to lift your chest straight up towards the ceiling. Next is rope pulls. So just imagine there's a rope between your legs. So you want to shoot through your heels and try and get your legs as straight as possible. The more flexible you are, the more able you will be to straighten your legs, and vice versa. So you just want to imagine that there's a rope there and you're just pulling down on the rope as you lift up, and you're just alternating hands each time. Next is toe touches. Oh yeah, toe touches. So same position as the rope pulls. So just imagine that you're holding something in your hand. So if you had a weight or something, and you're trying to place that thing on top of your feet.
If you can reach.
If you can reach, yeah. Next is V-ups.
Oh, God.
These are my favorite. You know, cool. So arms and legs are lifting up at the same time, and you're kind of making a V with your body. And then last is a full sit-up. So full sit-ups, not a crunch. Make sure you're not throwing your arms forward to help you come up. You can rest your hands at your temples, and the more you want to challenge yourself, the more you can bend your knees. Right? Or no?
Counterbalance.
Yeah. What?
Woo. Sorry.
All right. So next, we're going to move on to category 2, which is oblique work. So this is for your sides. We'll cut right here. So first is Russian twists. So if you have a medicine ball, you can use that or some sort of weight, or you can just do it weight-free. You want to float your feet off the ground and just twist. As you twist, you want to make sure that your head turns in the direction that your hands are going, and you want your hands all touched all the way down to the floor. So you're really exaggerating that twist in your sides. The second one is super eights, right? Or figure eight, sorry. Figure eight. So it's similar concept. You're just making a figure 8 motion with your hands, kind of like you're rowing a boat, and then just coming up and making an 8. Next is penguins. Right back. And then try to touch your toes. No, bend your knees.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. So think of it you see how his shoulders are lifted off the ground, and he's aiming almost like he wants to touch his pinky toe. And you're just going back and forth, side to side, each one. You really want to feel the pinch right here. Next is windshield wipers. So to start, you can stay. To start, you want your legs in a 90-degree angle. As you get better at these, you can actually straighten your legs up to challenge them even more, but start with the 90 degrees just to get the hang of it. And you're just dipping your knees side to side, stopping at about a 45-degree angle. So you don't want your knees to go all the way down to the floor. You want to be able to stop yourself before your legs get all the way there and then push them all the way back. Next is bicycles. So bicycle twists. A lot of times, I know I was guilty of it a lot. I feel like we stay in a crunch position and kind of just speed through it. Go ahead, sir. But what I really want to make sure that you guys are slow and controlled moving. So make sure you get that leg all the way straight and your elbow should come all the way back down. So when you reach over, your elbow should stay pointed outwards this way and then reach up. So as I'm reaching up, this elbow is still pointed this way. And then as I go this way, this one's still pointed this way. Make sure your elbows are touching your knees as you go. And again, slow and controlled. Side plank with a dip. So this is one of those moves that has both sides next to it. It means that you're going to have to do your right side for 30 seconds, and then you're going to have to switch over to your left side for 30 seconds. So this is the side plank, and then we're just going to add a dip to it. So you're just dropping this hip down to the floor. Don't let it touch the floor. And then you squeeze this side muscle right here and lift it back up over and over again. And then the next one is a side plank with a leg raise. So you're going to start in the same position, side plank, and you're just going to lift that top leg up. And make sure you're really trying to push your leg straight through your heel. So your foot, your toes are pointed forward. And then the last is going to be fire hydrants with a crunch. Right that way, yeah. So this is like a two-part kind of move. So first you're going to do a standard fire hydrant. So that's lifting your leg up, and then you're going to do a crunch. So you're going to try and touch your knee to your elbow. And then put it back down, other leg. And it's just alternating. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Make sure that as you're going, you try and keep your hips as level as possible. You don't want to be like tipping over and really like knocking that glass of water over. So as you're doing anything in that position, really picture that glass of water sitting on your back. Like you don't want to spill it. So third, we're going to move on to category 3 for posterior chain. These are all kind of like back, hip support muscles, like very small things that honestly, I feel like nobody really thinks about working out, but they're also super important to your core because we have to have a counterbalance for the strength in the front to kind of lift us up. Posterior chain is really important for posture. I know I had really bad posture like my whole life, and until I really started focusing on squeezing my shoulder blades back and standing straight, my posture's come a long way. So just remember that it's really important, posterior chain, for those purposes. So first is Superman. You can play this one. So hands forward, legs out, and you're going to lift your chest and your thighs off the ground. So you're really squeezing back here. So you're going to lift up and then back down. Oh, should they stay raised the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to do like reps. You lift up, squeeze, relax, lift up, squeeze, relax. So when you lift up, you're going to squeeze literally from your butt all the way up to your shoulder blades. And the higher that you can lift your chest off the floor, the better. So as you get better, you want to try and lift your heels and your hands up higher and higher, really squeezing your back muscles. And make sure you're still squeezing your belly the whole time. Next is bird dogs. So this is going to be an alternating move. And so you start and you're just reaching out with opposite legs and opposite arms. So you're balancing opposite arm, opposite leg, slow and controlled. So we're not going for speed, we're going for balance. Really get that reach out, come back in, and remember, picture the glass of water. Next is single leg glute bridges. So this is you're gonna do your right leg first, your left leg next. So stick this leg straight up. You really want the leg that's on the floor, you're gonna power through your heel. If it helps for you to think of it, you could even lift your toes off the ground to like really exaggerate getting that weight in your heel. And you're just gonna hold it up and back down. and then up and back down. So just, and you're trying to lift your pelvis as high up off the ground as you can, pushing through your back heel and squeezing your butt cheek. The last one is scorpions, and this is another one that is both sides. You're going to do one leg at a time. So if you're working the left leg first, you want your toes pointed straight to the ceiling or as straight to the ceiling as you can get, and make sure you get this 90-degree angle, and you're just pushing up. So squeezing your butt cheek and pushing up, straight up in the air over and over again. So the higher you can get it, the better. And remember, you're trying to keep your back straight, not kind of dipping sideways or going over, and just keep pushing up, up, up. And that's it. So those are all of the core exercises that we gave you guys to work on. So I kind of broke it down in the paperwork, but pick one from each category for your little mini core circuit each day after you do your speed or agility workout as kind of like a little cool down, and just to make sure that you're really working on strengthening that core. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah.